There are a shit ton of videos here on this channel of abuse, not just Gomez. There's hundreds of people like him. Anyway, I told you I'd do a video for you where we could address your stuff. And that's what I'm doing here now. It's a little bit later than I had hoped to, but there's a lot of time wasters. That's the problem with somebody not listening to what's going on with each of these agencies or wanting to power through it. Like they want to get the quick answers and the Cliff's Notes and run with that. And that's always a negative experience. That puts the victim at risk. The video in the link description, that's to a Facebook video with me about a woman named Jamie Curtis. Now, this is posted after Natalie was in Virginia and before she was killed, before she disappeared, before any of that. I'd gone to see Jamie Curtis and explained to her that I wanted my life to end and that I needed help making that happen. She was absolutely insistent. Now, while I was there, I was talking to a woman named Joanna Taylor Smith, who knows Maddie Boa, the girl who spread all the rumors. Well, she was in contact with me, but she just kept doing the pretty white girl thing. Talking over me. Telling me what to think and what to feel. A bunch of stuff that only pretty white girls who have everything fucking handed to them actually fucking believe. Nobody else is dumb enough to believe that shit. A bird in the hand is worth two in the bush does not fucking stop abuse. Giving it to the universe does not so I can go see my friends and family members in Boulder, Colorado or anywhere else without being fucking assaulted. Loving myself doesn't stop the fact that I can't protect myself physically. No amount of loving myself is ever going to change that. People choose to hurt others, especially when they're not given the right information, especially when that person isn't allowed an honest day in court. Now, perhaps this Mr. Shaw feller will join the feed here soon, or perhaps Mr. Shaw will go to bed, who knows. As long as I'm stuck out here, I'm fucked. One of the important things here is the autonomy laws. When your friends or family members end up making decisions for you that are harmful, like for example, if somebody wants to step into a leadership role in my life, basically to take control and say this is what we're going to do, they can't until they've taken the time to listen to the situation, because if they make a wrong decision, then that can be used by the police to blame them, and that's not what I'm about. Now, it doesn't appear as if Mr. Shaw is on right now. But, link description, I should probably tell you what's in it. This is I was at Kenneth Wilson and Leitha Plunkett's, and I believe that one was either late September or early October. It was right after I'd gone to visit Jamie Curtis, and I had made the um, Michelle Brannick profile. Joanna Taylor Smith had been telling me that if I killed myself, that she was never going to let Natalie, Alicia, or Maddie hear the end of it. I've got some messages with Joanna Taylor Smith. She didn't type that nicely. She typed a lot meaner. But the thing is that it took fucking forever. Joanna Taylor Smith wanted to keep claiming that we were going to set it up for coffee. I'm like, fucking Christ, lady. Call me and listen to me like a human being so you know what the fuck is going on. Please. Like, all she would do is talk non-goddamn stop about herself and pretty white girl bullshit. I started learning how to blacksmith. I fucking sucked at it, but I made a fucking hammer for Joanna Taylor Smith so that at least I had a reason to go over and talk to her. And hopefully she was going to do the job that she said she would if I went and saw her. She said that she would pay for a hammer. That's what she wanted, and I made her a hammer. It didn't matter. It didn't matter how much I did, how much of her hoops I wanted to fucking jump through. I was too fucking broke to literally do everything that she wanted me to. And no, giving it to the universe doesn't fucking stop abuse. At-risk adults, especially autistic at-risk adults, are at especially great risk for being fucking shot by the police. We can't go to the fucking police without getting talked over. I mean, holy shit, I can't even go to my fucking friends without getting talked over. They make a bunch of decisions for me without listening. And that's one of the things, is that I needed this lady to listen before making decisions, because her jumping the gun has made things worse. We've already wasted 5 days where, like, we've spent a bunch of time listening to what she wants to do, and a bunch of stuff with another lady, and a bunch of stuff with her mom. And, like, literally, there's the stuff that helps, and there's the stuff that fucking doesn't, and this does not help. I have to turn in crimes committed by the people here at TFCC and Northwest Senior and Disability Center. I cannot do that having to set up an appointment at Northwest Senior and Disability Center and with this guy Micah on Monday. That's the thing, is that nobody is taking it seriously. I have been victimized out of all of my fucking resources. It is immoral to do that to fucking begin with. And that's the thing that I need this lady to understand. I need you to once through without trying to make it a fucking conversation. Otherwise, we end up spending a bunch of time with me trying to fill you in on a bunch of things that are going on. But the thing is, you can't make it go off to Monday. You need to literally call them with the victim and tell them it's a fucking emergency. You literally have to use those fucking words. You literally have to state loud and clear that the victim is being fucking harmed. That the victim has the goddamn evidence. You have to state outright these fucking things. And that's not going to happen as long as you're downplaying it. Not that any of you give a holy fucking goddamn. It's not happening to you, so it must be okay. Like, everybody fucking downplays it. I have to fucking go beg people to help me fucking carry stuff because I was forced to move again, and I'm gonna be forced to move again. God damn it. It's not okay that I'm still alive having to put up with this. You can't make me go back to places that have already committed crimes against me. That cannot be allowed. And you certainly can't be setting up appointments and all that kind of stuff for me to go back to a place where I'm being victimized. The safety issues are already there, and that Kaylee lady has already committed the crimes that she's going to commit. This is the problem, is that I already went to every single service alone. That's why they all broke the law. Every fucking one of them. That's why they bullied me, harassed me, and intimidated me. That's why they got away with it. And no, going back to Northwest Senior and Disability Services is not an acceptable thing to do after the crimes that they've committed. And it doesn't matter which person at that organization committed those crimes. The fact is that they assisted in helping other organizations to commit those crimes as well. Downplaying assaults by people like Andrew Wolnez, that doesn't help me out in the least bit. Tonight I let a guy buy me dinner even though I already had food. I told him several times that I'd already eaten, it didn't matter. But I accepted the food. The thing is that I've got fucking food in here. I've got bags and bags of shit. I need to fucking be able to throw it away fucking safely. And I can't fucking do shit. A lot of people want to do nice fucking things for me. Well, let's first of all stop trying to push me to fucking eat. If I'm hungry, I'll get some fucking food. I can sure use the fucking money. Not the fucking extra food. It's a waste of fucking money. Then I end up with food I have to throw away because it's rotting in my car because I do eat plenty. Then I'm basically forced pretending like I give a shit about a goddamn meal. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'll get mashed potatoes. You sure you don't want something else? Something else? Yes, I'm sure I don't want something else. I am certain I don't want something else. I certainly don't want you spending $20 on food I'm not going to eat. If I'm not fucking hungry, I'm not hungry. The reason that I'm not hungry is because nobody fucking cares to listen. I'm still taking this abuse every day, and I just want my life to be over. It's impossible to get fucking heard. Fuck my goddamn life. And the description. Yeah, Jamie's the girl I thought I was in love with. As far as personality-wise goes, she's great in person, except she's a player. From the moment that Jamie and the boy came into my life, Jamie had already been a part of my life for many years, but she was just someone I knew who had always been nice to me. Then it turned out that she'd had a crush on me for a really long time, which I didn't know. But then there was this wishy-washy, I'm interested, now I'm not, now I am, now I'm not. I don't play that. Anyway, the video is from right after I made the Michelle Brannick profile. Joanna Taylor Smith had been trying to push me to make a new Facebook. She literally wouldn't try understanding what I was fucking telling her. She was too busy trying to tell me what to do, what to think, and what to feel, like literally all women do to us. Please listen before making decisions for us. The one day that the lady didn't show up last week, she made a bunch of decisions and made a really big mess of things. The reason that she made a really big mess of things is because I'm still out here and it's a fucking goddamn Friday night. I'm gonna have to go through the whole weekend without any fucking possibility of getting help. Zero possibility of getting the help I need between now and Monday. None. The number one thing that pushes us to suicide is people not listening when we're being abused. People making decisions for us and doing things on our behalf when we need them to stop and listen, and not as a conversation and not as a, hey, we need to hurry up and rush thing. Tonight, I was trying to fill in the lady as much as I could and find out as much as I could from her because she was trying to tell me a bunch of stuff. But the problem is, I needed basically to go back in fucking time today because nobody is explaining to these people that my life is in fucking jeopardy and that I have, in fact and indeed, been taking this abuse. But that's difficult when we're getting sent to places I've already been. Places that have already broken the law. No, it is not okay to send me back to a place once they've broken the law. But all of the services here in Oregon have broken the law. Not just the ones here in Tillamook, all of the ones elsewhere that I was sent to. I literally can't fucking function. Now, for all these people who want to push me into housing, no, that is not acceptable. It takes 2 years to get into housing, and I wasn't comfortable fucking being here to begin with. I don't want to fucking be here. People are fucking shitty everywhere. There's lots of nice fucking people, but nobody fucking listens. And everybody thinks I'm so retarded that I need them to make my fucking decisions for me. That's not what I need. That's the problem with having people that are going to do stuff on my behalf. First of all, it's illegal as fuck in this state. So don't do it. It's been highly illegal for at least 2 years. Like, that can end you up in so much legal heat. It also allows the police to scapegoat you, and that's not cool. See, that's one of the things about researching this stuff. I got all sorts of knowledge in my fucking head. I don't have a fucking place to process it. I don't have friends or family members with a fucking house that aren't just gonna get drugged out of their fucking gourds or fucking talk at me the whole goddamn time. I can't do shit while that's going on, and that's what happens at every fucking service. It becomes a goddamn discussion. I need a fucking safe place to fucking go through the goddamn evidence. I don't fucking hate people for making mistakes. But the thing is, the sooner we stop running with your mistakes, the better off we're going to be, because there is a legal process by which this is supposed to go, and you need to understand that legal process, which doesn't really take long. Everybody in this situation broke the law, so it makes it that much easier. It's easier to explain to you that I've been to every service and they all did the same thing than it is to literally explain to you every single one of these services and exactly how they did it. But I am willing to spend that time if you're willing to spend the time to listen. But it has to be listening, 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 listening. When the male is a victim, you don't listen. You make decisions for him like he's a retard. No, that's everyone's problem. That's the problem from the start. Dick doesn't equal retard. This is literally the longest, slowest fucking process. This is literally the opposite of hell. And this is the problem with when you schedule it so that somebody will listen to your story. They're going to make the time and then they don't show up, but you find out they made a bunch of decisions without you. That's fucking scary as hell. Like, hey, you don't know anything about what's going on. Now, of course, what was my guess as to why the lady wasn't able to show up on the day that she said she'd listen? I said she probably got sick because fucking everybody here got sick. And I was right. The other thing is she's recovering from that illness. And that fucking sucks. There are a lot of people who are out right now that, well, it sucks. I'm out here petrified and stuck at the mercy of my predators. And although people can plainly see that, they want to also downplay the power of their voice. Once you've seen it, you can speak up about it. You guys also have obviously access to a lot of resources I don't. And it would be best not to utilize those resources in a non-fruitful direction. Now, many of these things do still need to be done, but they need to be done with someone who's informed. And I hope the video I sent where I was yelling, I hope she doesn't take that to mean I hate her, because that's not what I'm saying. It's that this autonomy stuff makes it illegal to do things for me. You can do them with me, but they'll fucking screw you in every fucking direction if you do it any other way. Now, there's a protocol that they're supposed to follow, and they didn't. It's not okay for us to go back to any of the places that did not follow protocol. Also, this lady's mom is got some knowledge in the legal field. The real issue is, it appears to have been at least 3 years since she was in the legal field. Because all of this autonomy crap, don't get me wrong, I'm glad it's there, because this is exactly the kind of situation it's meant to protect a person against. But at the same time, it's used as an excuse by all these places where they don't give you an informed decision. You can't make an informed decision, and they're going to lie to you about what your options are. Most people can't wrap their head around it. The one lady, the reason that I raised my voice specifically in the parts I did, why is that? Because I needed to put emphasis on it without doing a bunch of cursing that butt hurts everybody, apparently. Nobody can handle cursing with their sensitive goddamn ears. Oh, come on, man. Why do I have so many fucking aluminum cans? Oh yeah, because I exchanged them for money. Fuck it. There is no safe place for me to go. People don't understand that when a crime is committed against us, no matter who it is, that crime needs to be turned in immediately. Not every time I go to tell somebody, hey, crimes are being committed against me, I recorded it, please help me to turn it in. And then they go, well, who do we need to turn it into? And I say, well, it's a lot easier to explain to you that I've already been to all the services here, and we need to go over to their heads, and this is a list of people over their heads. But when you're in a hurry, and people are on their lunch break, or on their 15-minute break, you don't have much time to explain that stuff. You also don't want to overwhelm them, especially since they're taking a break from work, because fucking work sucks. I used to enjoy the shit out of work, but I primarily did manual labor. I loved it. Now I can't do manual labor. I hate it. I can't function as a fucking human being. Anyway, we're still waiting for Mr. Shaw. He has not come back yet, so no conversations with him. The problem is good intentions fuck everything up because you jump the gun on everything. Alright, so Scott Shaw, who's here? Scott Shaw type, just noticed you have me in your title. I've been working on today's music videos to upload for tomorrow. Yeah, I used to do that, but I have to record 24 hours for my safety. Still, it doesn't matter. Nobody helps me to turn it in. They all have us run around in the same circles. It's just a fucking game. That's the thing, is that once somebody starts playing the game like this, that's exactly what it is. And they've already sucked this lady into it. She needs to stop and listen to the victim. That's what needs to happen. She needs to know where the victim's already been and how the victim has been treated. I don't get to set up any of my music videos. I don't get to listen to them. Because if I do, then I can't record. Because copyright bullshit. I've had probably over 100 hours worth of evidence altogether that's been destroyed by YouTube because of copyright bullshit. Scott Shaw type, still been wondering what kind of music you'd like to hear sometime to give you some solace. There isn't any. There's none. There used to be, but the problem is that all those songs had positive connotations for me, and now they have none. I can't listen to a song without thinking about somebody who stabbed me in the back. Somebody who I cared about that threw me away like I was trash. Scott Shaw typed, I don't make any money off mine. It's all just improvised jamming that has stuff recommended by those close to me in my life. Yo. The problem is that music doesn't stop abuse. We end up with severe coping issues because we're taught to do literally everything except to turn in our predator. Everybody that we go to wants to change the subject. Well, have you tried this? Have you tried this? When they're doing that, they're showing that they haven't tried listening. And that sucks. Scott Shaw typed, I can completely understand that and feel for you. You know? And there's a delay on here. I'd like to get some sleep. I'm always tired. I'm always in pain. The worst pain is loneliness. When you're going through hell, you don't have a family member or friend that you can go to who understands. A family member or friend who understood would be pissed off that you're being abused and would want to help to turn it in right away. When they don't, it allows people to get away and the evidence to get away. And that sticks the victim with a reputation that's unwanted, but also unwarranted. And in those cases, it validates predators' belief that it's okay to harm that person. When that person doesn't get an honest day in court because they're poor and broke, and their predators can all dismiss them by calling them mentally ill and inferring they're schizophrenic. You end up with a situation where literally you need to kill that person. You can't destroy a person's life like that and expect them to keep their mouth shut. That's where Natalie Bollinger screwed up. That's where Alicia Bollinger screwed up. And that's where Maddie Boa screwed up. I'm just too loud. They thought that slandering my name, telling just a little white lie because they didn't want to be embarrassed, was okay. And that situation resulted with Natalie getting her brains blown out. And they helped her predators. All of you help her predators every time that you dismiss the abuse that I'm enduring at the hands of these people. You downplay how dangerous it is. You downplay how important it is to stop the abuse. Not you, obviously, Mr. Shaw. Scott Shaw typed, I emailed you so we could discuss that more when you rest up. Well, I'm not going to be able to rest up because I'm stuck in public still. None of this is appropriate to do in public. And all of the resources that I had were taken away from me by predators. It sucks. I tried doing breathing exercises. I've been doing that since I was a kid because I get a stuttering problem real fast and real easy. Predators love that. I need my existence to stop. This is not fucking okay. None of you are gonna fucking help me. Not a goddamn one of you. None of you are going to take it seriously. None of you are going to make the fucking calls with me. You're going to tell me how to think and how to feel like every other fucking person does. But the one thing you're not going to do is call with me and state factually that my life is fucking at risk. I have been taking non-stop abuse since before Natalie was fucking killed, and it is not okay to harm people without allowing them a fucking honest day in court. Preventing from somebody from even being allowed to go to fucking court. None of you are gonna look at the fucking evidence. None of you. And certainly none of you are gonna fucking speak out. Hundreds of people that I send this shit to, and none of them give a fuck. None of them help me to turn it in. They just want to make a discussion time and talk about themselves. And God damn it, even if I give them that time to talk about themselves, they still don't help me to turn it in. They still don't make the time to listen to me. I don't want to listen to anybody else. I don't. I don't want to hear anyone's bullshit story. I don't. They're already fucking over. Mine's not. I still take abuse every day. Scott type, just know I'll be there with you till the end, no matter. You know, I've heard that before. That's the thing. There was a lady named Layla Johnson. She turned out not to be Layla Johnson. It was just some fake profile made up by some fucking crazy lady. By the way, one of the people involved in that situation was a social worker from New Jersey. And I can't remember her name. See, that's the thing. Is that after all this time, I can't go back and just rapid fire find all this stuff. I can't function. I have no place to do this. I have not had a place to do this since before Natalie was fucking killed. Because not one goddamn person helped me when I had a fucking place, and now I need people to speak up about that. But I gotta show them the goddamn evidence. Meanwhile, I can't, because I don't fucking have a place. And every time I move, it's this same goddamn bullshit. People are eventually gonna listen, but they never take time to actually listen. I finally get them to look at a couple of pieces of evidence. So then they start making fucking decisions for me. Like, that is the most fucked up thing to do. And so many people just want to pretend everything's going to be okay. No, that is not fucking okay. Alright, you know what's going to make it not fucking okay? When you keep getting busy interrupting the victim to say shit like that. Oh, everything is going to be alright. Let me tell you about the time with my Uncle Pete, and it turned out alright with him. Well, I'm not your fucking Uncle Pete. I don't mind taking the time to send the fucking evidence, but I have so limited time. And I have to try to find someone to help me just to move my stuff. God damn it! I don't want to fucking live like this! I fucking hate it. I'm fucking ignored until it is fucking too late to do anything because they've already made fucking stupid choices for me. That's right, for me. Like, literally everyone has all these ideas about doing everything except go in with the fucking victim to turn it in. God damn it. Where you live, Scott? Texas? Oklahoma? I can't function as a human being anymore. I can't process any of this. I don't have the ability to take the goddamn shit off of any of my fucking evidence and fucking put it onto something else. I can't fucking do it. People love to talk about themselves. But talking about yourself isn't listening to the victim. Having a great idea and shoving it on the victim isn't help either. Listening to the victim and helping them to turn in the crimes that they're telling you about, that's what's important. You've got laws about autonomy here, which means if you're going to make decisions for people, they have to be informed decisions, or you can get into a shit ton of trouble. The stuff I'm able to get away with, it's only available to me because I'm disabled and because my rights are being fucking violated so horribly. But the thing is, there's some evidence, like the assault against me by Dr. Stephanides. I had the same issue I had now. No way to physically get my stuff taken care of as far as the computer goes. Now, let me ask you, when you're at your house, do you have internet access at your house, to your computer? Do you get to sit down and work on it? If you need your friends and family to shut the fuck up so you can get some goddamn work done, that people's lives are at fucking stake, including yours, are they going to take the time and be fucking quiet and allow you that time? All right. Scott Shaw typed, just know I'll be there with you till the end no matter. I used to live in Illinois and moved to Iowa for a job and ended up having to quit the job due to mental health. Yeah, that happens a lot with us. 80% of us don't have jobs as adults. It's because we're disrespected everywhere we go. If there's an issue, we're talked at like we're fucking retarded. It's difficult not to have a mental breakdown from that. Let's see, Scott Shaw type, and then have been unemployed since for about a month. And about 4 days ago, found you and have been following since. I hate talking about myself because I do it too much. Music has taught me to do more listening in life, and you have been a source of teaching that lesson because your words hit like a hammer and nail. They really do, don't they? For most of us, we have PTSD. That's something none of us can turn off. Now, we've also taught all women to pretend like they have PTSD from like 5th grade forward. We teach them that there is absolutely nothing boys are allowed to do except let them kick us in the nuts. When I was in about 4th or 5th grade, and this happened at 2 different schools, the girls used to call over some of the taller boys, the ones that were more athletic. And of course, they'd get called over there, and all of a sudden, they've got a girlfriend, which is, I guess, pretty cool when you're in 4th or 5th grade to have a girlfriend. But then there's the nerds, and you never know if you're a nerd or not until basically the girls call you over. What happens with the nerds? Well, this is also the same age where people are teaching them that if a boy does this or if a boy does that, you kick him in the nuts. And they want to try it. They want to see if it actually works. So they call over a boy and they kick him in the nuts. I remember it was probably 5th grade, I think. The girls did that on the basketball court to a boy they shouldn't have done it to. Now, I'd had it happen to me a couple of times, and I didn't fall for it after that. I was like, yeah, I'd rather not have a girlfriend. Girls are mean at that point. At that age, all girls that age are mean. Even the sweetest little girl that you know is mean at that age. So this boy, he's pretty big. And the girls called him over. And one of the girl's daddies told her that it would drop a grown man. Well, she got to step back and fucking football punted that guy right in the fucking crotch. So he football punted her right back in the fucking crotch. She started bleeding immediately. She bled through her stockings and bled through everything else. Like there was blood everywhere. She just wouldn't stop fucking bleeding. She had to go to the emergency room. And I thought to myself, well, holy shit. If girls realized getting kicked in the crotch back was going to do that, maybe they'd stop kicking us. But you can't make that suggestion as a boy, because that'd get you smacked by your parents. You never hit a girl. Ever. No matter what she does to you, they teach you. Well, let me tell you something. If a girl like Desiree Leonard is trying to beat your ass, dude, she might kill you on accident. I recommend defending yourself. Scott Shaw type because it's real. Yeah, it also sucks. It's reality. Now, somebody like you can speak up. So can everybody else in my life. But they have to, well, like you, watching this stuff, you get to see it with your own two eyes. My little brother lives in Iowa. His name is Michael Allen Albert. And unlike me, he's a piece of shit. You get to hear how many of these predators pretend like they get to get away with it because I cursed at them when they were predatory. Oh, hell no. That is the right time to curse. And when innocent people are getting killed, that is exactly the wrong time to shut up and procrastinate and waste time. When you put my friends and family's lives at risk, we're not friends. When you withhold information or you ignore the victim just because it's not convenient for you, yeah, we're not friends. That's the problem with all the people before Natalie was killed that wanted to pretend like they were my friends. They'd already showed me that they weren't my friends all the way back in 2015 when I hurt my back. Everyone just forgot I existed. Except to tell me that I was negative on fucking Facebook. Scott Shaw typed, that story is a one in a time to hear. Wow, is it? Yeah, it's fucking hell. With Jamie Curtis, there's a video I posted in the link description, I hope. It's with a girl named Jamie Curtis. Well, it's about Jamie Curtis. Well, people want to pretend like I was in love with Natalie and couldn't take no for an answer and all this other bullshit. The reality is, the chick I had a thing for was Jamie Curtis. The situation that happened 9 years before Natalie was killed. That was the closest I ever had to a family. Jamie and her son, and he's my favorite person in the whole world. Me and Natalie even talked about him. She asked if he was my son, and I had to be honest and say no. Nobody followed the situation, and nobody followed me, except for all of the predators. All of the predators have kept that shit up to this day. They've literally made thousands of fake accounts just to harass me on goddamn YouTube. and hundreds of fake accounts on Facebook. Anyway, in the video, I'm mostly talking about Jamie. And this is after I've left Virginia, and I had just gone to visit Jamie and her son. I'd fucked up my foot stomping on the phone that I got from Natalie's sister, Alicia Bollinger. It used to be Natalie's old phone. Anyway, I stomped on that phone and fucked up my foot. And had to be on crutches. I actually had to drop those crutches in December when I walked all the way to Kayla Trujillo's house at 120th and Melody, because she was going to try to help me turn in this stuff with Kenneth Wilson, Leatha Plunkett, and Natalie and all of her friends and family that were involved in this shit. Alright, you notice how I pause sometimes when the vehicles go by? That's because I have to get super loud in order to talk over them. Scott Shaw typed, I couldn't believe you had been on for 5 years consistently. That's a lot of information tucked in each video. I'll make sure to watch the one in the description. Very nice. It's actually on my Facebook. It was from right before Natalie was killed. It was in a place called Inglewood, Colorado. I was in Kenneth Wilson and Leatha Plunkett's garage where I was paying rent. In between when I made that video and when Natalie died, I'd been repeatedly going to a guy named Jeff Ritter, who was supposed to be a therapist, and Kara Heller was supposed to be my case manager, but she never did anything. When it came to turning in the abuse, they didn't do anything. Meanwhile, the only reason I was seeing them in Colorado is because Nicole Peralta, the lady who was supposed to do something in Nebraska, didn't. Scott Shaw typed, I'll make sure to watch the one in the description. Yep, that's the one with Jamie. I try to explain that it's a situation where I couldn't get over the fucked up situation with Jamie, especially up there, and the situation with, all right, so she had this boyfriend, and I'm fine with that. The problem is that I lost my best friend and her son because I wouldn't have sex with her. How many of y'all can understand that? It wasn't just that I wouldn't have sex with her. It's that she was fucking mean and cruel to me for not having sex with her. Instead of trying to understand, she tried to destroy me mentally because she felt rejected. Well, I didn't reject her. I zipped up the side of my dick and was fucking bleeding profusely on the one time where she told me when she was sober that she was gonna have sex with me. She said, I'm consenting now because I plan on getting drunk and we're gonna have sex. Well, then I went to the bathroom, and while I went to the bathroom, she got stark-ass naked except for her panties and laid on the ottoman. And I walked out, and my cock was wrapped in toilet paper, and my pants were on, and I sat down next to her, And she said things like, if you were any slower, you'd be the Virgin Mary. Meanwhile, I had to go back to work in Windsor carrying some heavy ass goddamn lockers. So in the video that's posted, it's right after I've left Virginia. I stomped on the phone because I heard Jamie having sex with her boyfriend, Mr. Harmon. And fucking, I wasn't expecting that. I expected to walk into the house and Mr. Harmon and Jamie and the boy would all be doing what it is that, family activities. But the boy wasn't there, and all I heard was fucking, and I was like, ugh. So I went outside, fucking threw that phone down like 2 or 3 times, and then I fucking stomped on it and fucked up my foot. And I turned around and I noticed that the boy had seen the whole goddamn thing. I felt terrible. The thing is, I needed help. I needed help stopping the abuse. And Jamie, I thought she was going to be that friend, but basically she wanted to encourage me to date one of the ladies in her building. That was her great and wonderful idea, that there was a girl in her building that was absolutely the greatest thing since sliced bread, and she was going to try to hook me up with this girl in her building. And I'm like, yeah, Jamie, I already left. I'm already back in fucking Colorado. So that was when I made the Michelle Brannick profile. It was while I was literally at Jamie Curtis's house. There was a woman named Joanna Taylor Smith who had been encouraging me to make a new Facebook. I was trying to get her to explain that it's not just ignoring shit on fucking Facebook thing or making a new goddamn Facebook profile thing, but pretty white girls don't fucking listen. And Joanna Taylor Smith is one of those pretty white girls who had a mommy and a daddy that bailed her out of every fucking mistake she ever made. For her, she's as far from fucking reality in her decision making as you can possibly fucking get. I mean, who the hell is dumb enough to believe that give it to the universe or give it to God is going to fix the goddamn thing? It doesn't. When somebody's being raped, either you get involved to stop it or the victim has to continue to endure it. Plain and simple. And it comes down to whether or not you believe the victim and are willing to fight for them. And without me having a place or having a friend to fucking speak up and explain that, hey, this shit's immoral and illegal, you guys can't just force somebody who is disabled to fucking break the law in order to try to get help. That's fucking immoral. And when a disabled and at-risk adult who is told to go to you because you work for the government and the government's supposed to help them, and they go to you and your quote-unquote help results in the victim having zero recourse to defend themselves, it's fucked. In the video in the link description, I do talk about being in love with Jamie. I mean, I was fucked in the head. I was having problems sleeping. I was having to deal with people pretending that I was fucking stalking Natalie. And meanwhile, I wasn't even willing to stalk Jamie, and I thought I was in love with Jamie. Now, the real important part there is that, that didn't really change. It wasn't Jamie that was the whole love of my life thing or anything like that. It was that, for the longest time, that was my family, her and her son. All right, we got some asswipe calling himself Chris Matthews typing you stalking people in your car. So what am I going to do? Hide user on this channel. Don't be a fucking douchebag. I said that I was going to make this video so that Mr. Shaw could talk about himself and I could talk about myself and we could have it like a conversation. And that's what I'm trying to do. But you get to see, Mr. Shaw, that people like Chris Matthews are going to get on and they're going to type that mean shit. And that's not the worst kind of stuff. It's not like they're getting on here like those guys were last night and typing stuff like, stop making stupid retard noises, or autistic retard noises is what they were calling it. Because I was rocking back and forth and going, because I'm trying to stem. I'm trying to self regulate. Repeatedly, the tools that I used to self regulate were taken away from me. When you hear that video, you get to hear me talking about being in love with Jamie. And you know what? That emotion there will never change. Jamie is my first and only love, but not as an in love thing. It's understanding of I'm not capable of falling in love, and she is the one who broke me of that. I could have fallen in love with somebody before Jamie, but Jamie taught me that there's no such thing as being in love. You either love them or you don't. When I realized that I couldn't hurt Jamie no matter what, and I realized that, well, here's the thing. No matter who Jamie was with, I was never going to hurt her for it. When she was with Mr. Harmon and I heard him having sex, it wasn't that they were having sex that was the problem. The problem was that that's not what I was expecting at that point in time. I was fine with them dating. I was fine even with them fucking. I just was not fine at that moment with me being suicidal, walking into the house to see Jamie and the boy, and I walk in and I hear Jamie having sex. Like, oh my God. Why did I lose my best friend? Because I wouldn't have sex with her. Because, well, I told her, if you don't want me when you're sober, you can't have me when you're drunk. And she was drinking a lot after her mom died. Man, I would have felt like shit if I'd had sex with her. I would have felt like I was taking advantage of somebody in a fucked up situation. But I was the only guy in her life that actually felt like that. All the rest of them were trying to fuck her. So the thing about when she left with the boy to go live with James in South Dakota, she was trying to escape all the suitors that she'd made empty promises to. And by the time I finally made the video that is in the link description, I'd already rescued Jamie from James Payton and her son from James Payton. And I wasn't the only one who was there. There was other people, several of them I knew. That's one thing that people don't get about Natalie. I was not capable of falling in love. I wasn't capable of wanting to be like that at all with another human being. Jamie fucking destroyed me. I mean, that was the most evil thing that you could fucking do to a person, and she did it fucking hard. I mean, even worse than that, when Jamie realized that I was different, that I didn't give a fuck about her vagina, that her son was the most important thing in the world to me, well, she started using him to manipulate me. Just like my mom did that with my little sister. She could manipulate Scott into doing anything that she wanted just by bringing up my sister. She even laid it on thick by, even though Scott is not Tara's real dad, whenever Tara would get in trouble, my mom would say, well, that's your daughter. Sorry, I'm trying to repair a cigarette so I can smoke it. It's my last one. A lot of people, when I say things that are emotionally charged, want to think that I'm being hateful towards them and hate them. That's not even close to the situation. I'm afraid of the situation and I'm afraid of them. I'm afraid of their assumptions. So that was in September. Now, I also had gotten a hold of Natalie to let her know I didn't think I could ever date her. Now, I said I didn't think instead of I absolutely couldn't, because you don't want to give her a complex and make her fucking so fucked up in the head that she kills herself. The problem is her and her friends that already fucked me up in the head to the point that I was willing to kill myself. It wasn't that me and Natalie were bad friends. It's that her predators were not okay with her spending that time with others. Much like I was, to some degree, not okay with Mr. Harmon spending time with my family. But they're not my family, are they? Jamie's not my wife, and Zyler's not my son. Jamie and I even had our own BS going on, as always. Right before I went to Virginia to see Natalie, when I was on my trip to go there, my car broke down at a rest area, and while I was at that rest area with my car broke down, Jamie got a hold of me and let me know she needed a hero. So I turned around halfway through Missouri with a broken car. A guy happened to have a flatbed. He loaded my 94 Honda Civic up on the flatbed. It was another Honda Civic. And he drove me all the way to Sedgwick, Colorado and dropped me off there, only 9 miles from Chapel. I got my car fixed. I went to South Dakota just in time to help Jamie and her son move out of there, out of James's house, along with Todd Rust and his family who helped. The first night in Jamie's new apartment, I rescued an owl. I was so proud of that, I sent that picture to everybody. So, after rescuing Jamie and the boy, while I was up there, James pushed Jamie and it bruised half of her body. The recordings with Jamie's son show that she told her son that he had pushed her down the stairs. James told me that he pushed Jamie, but it was because he was hitting her in the face. I did see the bruises with my own two eyes. But we got her safely out of James's house. We got her to a location that James was not aware of. Now, after that, I had to earn the money to go back to Virginia. In that time, because I'd spent all of my money already on fixing my vehicle and on getting to Rapid City, South Dakota to rescue Jamie and the boy. And then I started back to Virginia to go see Natalie Bollinger, still at her request. Half the people that I was going to see had already gotten rescued, like Mahalia Jean-Pierre, and Words with Her on my YouTube. Same thing with Joanna Taylor Smith. All of the people in my stories are verifiable as human beings. It's not like I spent fucking 7 years making up fake accounts and just typing with myself, you know? These people really existed and still do, some of them, and some of them are dead. And you go through that later. Anyway, so when I finally got to Virginia, Natalie was like, well, you can't come to my house, my family won't understand, which I get that. But then her sister Alicia kept on inviting me over to the house. And I kept on telling Alicia, well, Natalie's not comfortable with that. She says your family won't understand. And she was right, they don't. Drug addicts and meth addicts don't understand how somebody could love someone just to love them. See, here's the thing. Jamie did not break me of loving people. She broke me of believing I was in love with anyone whatsoever. Now, in that video, I was explaining how I couldn't get over the situation. And that was, of course, a year after I had left Virginia. See, in between that period of time, I'd gone through a lot of abuse at the hands of people like Tim Beeson, calling me up at all hours of the night, telling me he's going to kill me, that he's going to kill Jerry Sparks, that he knows where these people live. Like, he just fucking wouldn't stop. Kept on calling me saying, leave my girlfriend alone. I'm like, dude, I don't know who the fuck your girlfriend is, okay? Natalie Bollinger. Well, I haven't fucking seen Natalie Bollinger since my birthday, October 18th of 2016. Only time I ever get a hold of Natalie is when people are threatening to kill me and my friends and family, or people are fucking assaulting me, or, for God forbid, I want to go see my family in a place that I've been assaulted repeatedly. And I try to call her up and say, hey, could you call off the dogs, please? But please didn't work. See, the first time I explained to her that I was being treated like a pedophile was all the way back still in 2016. I had to unblock her on Facebook to tell her that I was getting treated like a fucking pedophile, but I was safely in Nebraska. She blocked me. Well, that was a fucking shitty thing to do. But, of course, I tried to get a fucking lawyer. The cops, I'd gone to them a few times. By January of 2017, I was still trying to turn it in, still trying to get help, and I was sent to Sydney Regional Hospital on suicide watch. Well, Sydney Regional Hospital held me for about 2 hours. After Sydney Regional Hospital in January 2017 said, well, he's not fucking trying to kill himself or others. He's trying to get help stopping abuse. So that's when I got hooked up with Nicole Peralta of Region 1 and Tamara. Tamara helped me to get my disability. I was in housing because even though Cindy Taylor is a piece of shit, she's friends with Brenda Dickinson, and I used to be part of Brenda Dickinson's youth group. So Brenda Dickinson was able to get me into housing. Tamara was able to get me my disability, but she quit her job. So then I had to make a choice. Either I stay in Nebraska where there's no services, or I go to the Front Range like Nicole Peralta was pressuring me to do. But Nicole Peralta also wanted me to continue working with Region 1, Nebraska, who she worked for, because they still get tax dollars for it if I continue going back. Also, I kept everything legal in Nebraska. Now, everybody in Nebraska, like Brenda Dickinson and her husband, kept on pressuring me to make sure that I kept that place in Nebraska for a whole year, the assisted living place. But it wasn't assisted living place. It was restrictive as fuck. Scott Shaw type. I really do enjoy this personalized perspective of all this. It's important. I agree. My battery's down to 15%, so I gotta start charging it. The thing is, people think that they need a whole bunch of money. No, you don't need a whole bunch of money. It only costs $15 to get the body cameras from any of these places, but it's got to be done swiftly. It's got to be done immediately. It's got to be done before somebody's been in a fucking fucked up situation for over a year, like I've been in here, begging every person that I meet, please care, please take a look, please understand that this Natalie Bollinger stuff is very real. The people I'm trying to work with here understand now that it's very, very, very real, that it's a very scary situation. There's 3 people that I talked to today that were willing to help me. 2 of them saw evidence and it scares the hell out of them. One of them hasn't seen jack shit. He's just a really super nice guy. Now let me tell you what horrible people these are for making mistakes. They're not. They're not horrible people for making mistakes. Given the time that they put into it versus the time that they spent listening, it does show that they do care. They just don't understand yet because they didn't take the time to listen. And that's most people's issues. They think that I am completely stuck and completely lost because I don't know who I'm supposed to get a hold of. And really, the problem here is that I'm supposed to go to a friend or family member when a crime is committed against me, and we're supposed to turn it in together. If that doesn't happen, the predator wins, and they get to do it again. And also, I can't trust you this time. I have to go to somebody else because I know you're just going to blow me off. So I go to that somebody else, and they just blow me off. And then I come back to you, and I explain to you, hey, I've been harmed by this person on more than one occasion. I went to you the first time. You didn't help me. You just told me how to think and how to feel. Well, if you'd listened to me, this all would have stopped. No, that's not how it works. When people got it in their head that you hurt women or children, they don't stop fucking hurting you. They don't care that the person that you're being harmed over is a fucking drug addict. And nobody gave a shit about the fact that Natalie never once, not even once, ever accused me of raping or molesting her. All she did is try to sell some fucking horror story about the evil Sean Schwartz. I'm afraid that he might. No, all she was trying to do is slander my name so that people wouldn't believe what I said about her and her dad. Well, what I said about her and her dad, I didn't say. At least not the part about her dad. Nope. I took an email that she had sent me in 2016 and I copied and pasted it and made a video about how fucked up the situation was. That's right, I exposed her dad as a pedophile with her own words, as a woman beater with her own words. After spending over a year getting treated like I was a child molester or a rapist because of Maddie Boa, all because of the situation with Natalie and Alicia. Then Natalie gets her fucking brains blown out. I was supposed to have a court date on the 22nd. I didn't know that. Jeff Ritter was supposed to help me with the stuff. He said he couldn't help me until I got paper. Well, I got the paperwork. But then he said the government wasn't even open until January 1st, and the same thing went with his office and Kara Heller. So then, of course, even if I'd have known I had a court date, I didn't have anybody that was even going to look at it until after the 1st. Meanwhile, as far as I knew, the whole goddamn government was shut down, or the whole court system, as far as that goes, was going to be shut down. Meanwhile, I was served papers 6 days before court. I couldn't have possibly even gone. I didn't have any money. I still didn't have an advocate. I had people that were supposed to that were absolutely ignoring me every time it was time to do something. And then, of course, Natalie got her brains blown out. I've been going to my friends like Joanna Taylor Smith, Veronica Bruce, well, Veronica Seward now, um, Kayla Trujillo, Shauna Sinclair, Mandy Singer. And when I reached out to two of those friends, this is right before Natalie was killed. This is after we found out that she was missing. I had made two posts about friends of mine who were missing their kids. One of them was Mandy Singer, and the other one was Shauna Sinclair. And then I got the phone call that Natalie was missing while I was at Kayla Trujillo's. And Natalie's mom got on and started calling me stalker, and it became a popularity contest. Hundreds of people getting on there, just clicking the thumb-like thingy, showing who it is that they liked more. And it turned out, obviously, they liked the Bollinger family more because they were painted as the victims while I was painted as the predator. What I'm asking for is help getting assisted termination of life legal. I 100% agree with what Natalie Bollinger did as far as ending her life. I've had to deal with her family. There aren't very many people that can take what I've had to endure and not blow their goddamn head off. Just the amount of stuff that I've gone through in the last month is enough for most women to kill themselves if they don't have any help. And the fact is, men are 5 times more likely to commit suicide than girls, specifically because of this. We're blown off when we're abused. Police officers, therapists, doesn't matter. We're broke, so they just make a profit off of us. That hurts. Hurts every one of us. Now, I don't want my camera dying and I don't want my car dying, but I'm trapped in a situation where my life is at risk because of slander. And I've proven time and again that it's slander. I've shown so many people that it's slander, but they never fucking speak up. They promise that they're going to, and they literally never do. And then they say, I don't know how, I don't know how. And I say, well, I will start making the calls. You be on the fucking phone with me. And that's too much for literally everyone. After Natalie disappeared, I should say, I was at Kayla Trujillo's. I'd been taken advantage of and assaulted by Don Bird, and Kenneth Wilson and Leah Plunkett had stolen my disability money, made empty promises with it, and I was flat fucking broke. So I finally got my disability money the day after I was supposed to have court. They set me up for court on the 22nd of December. I had no fucking clue. Officer Michael West hadn't bothered to inform me of any of the stuff that he's legally required to. Meanwhile, just like now, I couldn't mentally function because I had no friends or family to help me turn it in. I'd been trying, but all they'd done is taken advantage of me, just like Kenneth Wilson and Leah Plunkett. And the same people who promised to help me before Natalie was killed made the same claims afterwards. The problem is, all of my so-called friends who claimed to care showed that they didn't. I had to record people that I'd known for over 20 years, admitting that I'm not schizophrenic and that I've never been schizophrenic, because they weren't coming forward with me and fucking speaking up about it. And many of them had excuses like they were afraid of the police. Well, then maybe you should go together with somebody to help turn it in safely instead of forcing your friend to go in and talk to the police alone. Now with me having to be afraid this weekend, That's because I have no one to call when I'm messed with, when I'm harassed, when I'm threatened, when I'm intimidated, when Molnez tries to bust up my vehicle some more. And meanwhile, out of all of the assaults and all of the literally dozens of people that I've gone to after these assaults, and sometimes even during them, to try to get help, I'm trying to turn them into the police, but we can't turn them into the local police because they've taken charge of trying to prevent me from being heard. They've run around and claimed to people that I'm wanted for murder in Colorado. And of course, Mr. Scott Shaw, I'm sure you're aware, they found Natalie Bollinger's killer. They already found her killer. Also, all of the messages between Natalie Bollinger and I show that we were friends in Virginia, not boyfriend and girlfriend. Now, there's a woman who was working together with Natalie's family after Natalie disappeared. When they got a hold of me, Rochelle Shelley Camel and Danica Garner were pretending like they actually cared about Natalie, that they were trying to turn in Natalie. They verified that Ted is an evil son of a bitch. And so did Rose M. Kelly. Scott Shaw typed, yes, Lopez, a long while back. Exactly. But here's the thing, Scott Shaw. Before Natalie was killed, I was trying to get help turning her in. So here's the question. What was I trying to turn her and her friends in before she was killed? Scott Shaw typed, people can be so triggered you want to take you want you to take down videos of their behaviors all because it's public for the world to see, and it was the perfect thing for you to do and keep doing. And yes, sir, that's the point. Everywhere I go, I have to take this abuse. All these officers are able to make calls across multiple jurisdictions and multiple states to slander my name and have other people hurt me in law enforcement. And then, of course, to intentionally stick their nose in situations where they committed crimes and I'm trying to turn them in. Let's take a look at the situation in Warrenton. I was in Warrenton being abused when I had to flee Tillamook to try to turn them in elsewhere. I was told I had to go to a different jurisdiction, and I looked up news articles, and it turns out that the police here have done a lot of fucked up shit, and that Clatsop County, that's Warrenton and Astoria, that Clatsop County is the one that investigates it. Well, I couldn't get anyone at First Steps there, which is supposed to be an autism advocacy place. They basically treat their autistic people there like retards that are good for a few bucks. So I reported on it, and the fact that when I went there for help, an officer had come in and harassed me and claimed in front of those ladies that I was wanted for murder in Colorado. Now, obviously, if I was wanted for murder in Colorado, they'd have had to arrest me. They'd have had to take me in for questioning, and they didn't. All they were trying to do was make those ladies scared, and then they'd play victim, and sure enough, that's exactly what they did. Thank goodness I recorded it. The one recording that I need is the recording from the officer when he went into their office. He spoke directly to me and was trying to accuse me of that shit. That happens literally everywhere I go. It is law enforcement in every place that I go that starts this. I've also got recordings of law enforcement, well, the people that they told those things to, coming to me and saying, hey, the cops are trying to intimidate me. Sheriff Scott DaCosta played Let's Make a Deal with my roommate Dallas Richmond. Dallas Richmond was not abusive towards his kids or his ex in front of me. His ex, on the other hand, was nuttier than squirrel turds and an alcoholic just like Dallas. She got busted with 5 kids in the car while she was so drunk she was passed out, so the car wasn't moving. Anyway, they dropped the charges against her, and then they charged Dallas Richmond with domestic abuse. Now, Dallas Richmond did not domestically abuse anybody. He may have in the past, I don't know. But I do know that Dallas was not the one who was being the aggressor. He wasn't the one throwing stuff at her that could have killed her. She was the one throwing those things. Scott Shaw typed, I watch a lot of audit YouTubers that request public records of body cam footage, and I've always seen how tedious of a process it can be. But it would be, like you said, the avenue to go. Yes, but the problem is I need the money and I can't go in alone. I can't do it alone. I will be bullied, threatened, harassed, intimidated, assaulted, arrested, or taken to a fucking nuthatch on suicide watch. These cops know exactly what they're doing. And unless you go in with somebody who knows exactly what they're doing, you're completely fucked. Now, ever since Natalie's death, the 5 agencies that were involved before her death, 5 police agencies involved before her death, have all played completely stupid, and all of them, with the exception of Chesapeake, Virginia, have committed felonies against me since Natalie's death. In Virginia, I didn't stalk Natalie, but I did get my car stuck in the road. Bollinger, the claims that she made versus the situation while her and I were there in person are not the same. Now, Mr. Scott Shaw, the fact is that all of this abuse that I have endured since Natalie Bollinger is over a reputation that is easy to prove is bullshit. Stalkers want to know where you are and who you're with. And you know what? You can look through every single message with me and Natalie Bollinger. You might notice, after I left Virginia, I didn't give a fuck where she was. I just assumed she was still in Virginia. I didn't ask who she was hanging out with. It was none of my fucking business. What I cared about was that people were fucking hurting me and threatening to kill me and my friends and family, including her ex-boyfriend, Tim Beeson. And I asked her to call off the dogs. You can also see that for a whole year before Natalie was killed, I got progressively more pissed off. I started off being nice. I even typed out my whole story and explained the situation. Oh God, that pissed her off. I tried leaving out the part about her heroin the first few times, but eventually I was like, you know what? Fuck this. People won't leave me the fuck alone. I want to see my friends and family. I'm getting fucking bullied and assaulted every time I go to Boulder, Colorado. I'm stuck in fucking Chapel, Nebraska, where literally nobody there is going to fucking be useful for a goddamn thing. It's fucking racist Redneckville. Everybody I knew there that wasn't a racist goddamn redneck was only there because they were strung out on fucking drugs. Meanwhile, I don't do drugs. I tried meth all the way back in 2001. No, 2003, sorry. So, it put me to sleep, and I didn't try it again. You can't really get addicted to a drug that doesn't work right on you. And my friends that I was hanging out with at the time were so fucked up out of their gourd, they don't even remember me being there for most of it. That's because I was passed out underneath Matt Worley's bed. Anyway, Matt Worley went and stole his mama's tools. She was a mechanic. He went and stole her tools back in 2003. And I went, well, if my friends are stealing from family, they're not friends anymore. They've become the drugs. Now, like I said, I grew up in the system as an autistic male who was the son of two coke dealers. And then as an adult, I was thrown out on the street at 18. So, yeah, life is what it is. Scott Shaw type legit when I randomly looked up an unbiased article on Google on the case and it completely cleared you. Well, here's the thing, is that it doesn't clear me. See, Natalie, Bollinger's family have been able to gaslight me repeatedly to have court dates without me so they can all get protection orders too. After they gaslighted me and I tried to turn them in. So no, it doesn't completely clear me. It clears me of her murder, and that's not what any of these people ever harmed me over. Family pretended that I stalked her, even though the evidence shows otherwise. And so they pretended that I raped her and fucking molested her as a little kid. What the fucking difference isn't there? See, Natalie Bollinger never, ever accused me of doing any of the things that I was assaulted over. All Natalie ever said was that I stalked her, and that was good enough. And people go right back to that. You can hear that in almost all of these predators yelling at me that I'm a pedophile or a child or shit like that. And goddamn, they don't like the way I scream their shit back, do they? I have to deal with racism on a whole other level. The majority of the time, the only thing that actually is my saving grace is the fact that I record, that people are afraid that they're going to record. And not everybody's afraid. And the woman is goddamn brilliant. Also, you got to be afraid for John. John was going to have to turn it in. He got into a fight when he had a gun in his pocket. I don't know if the police picked him up or if it was his friend did something. But I haven't seen him today. The article did not clear me of child molestation against Natalie and Alicia Bollinger. And Natalie and Alicia Bollinger never ever made that claim either. But that's when people yell at me while they're swinging at me. In Boulder, Colorado, when I asked people why it is they were hitting me, they were calling me a child, I was like, well, who the fuck said that? Maddie Moa, Maddie Moa, Maddie Moa. Who was the first person I told that I wanted to blow my head off in front of them so close that they could feel the blood spray against their face? Maddie Moa. Yeah, that's right. Natalie Bollinger ain't the only person that I typed that shit to. I wasn't threatening to kill that woman or anything. I was threatening to end my life. Because there's shit that you don't do to another human being. And that's one of them. Natalie called me a stalker, not a child molester, not a rapist. And the evidence that I did not stalk her is in our messages between each other. Nobody wants to look at that. They want to look at Natalie's last public post and pretend that that means that I must have been a bad guy. She was never stalked by me, and I am still stalked by predators over her. That's the thing there, bud. I showed literally everybody, message after message between me and Natalie. I showed that I told her everything. But I shouldn't have had to post it in public. I never should have had I'd have had just one friend who gave a shit, we could have stopped this, and Natalie might still be alright. Natalie absolutely would still be alright. How do you think Natalie's family treated her after I exposed Ted? Do you think they treated her nicely? No, she called me up, tell me that I fucked things up way worse with her family. No, the fuck I didn't. She fucked that shit up. All I did was tell the fucking truth when she wouldn't. When she didn't care who got harmed over her bullshit, she just didn't want to be embarrassed. Anyway, there's a lot of predators that were involved in people like Layla Johnson, people like Carl Rogers, aka Carly, people like, let's see, who else was involved? Aaron Cockerham. Yeah, recordings with him were on here. There's also recordings of people that I was going to see on the same time as I went to see Natalie in Virginia in 2016. People like Bailey Jean-Pierre, people like Moose, aka Greg Roloff. There's one video on my channel called I Came Here to See, or I Came Here to Get Help, Calling, Not to See My Friend OD. That one's Greg Roloff, the same guy that was talking about how, yeah, he remembers the conversation when I said I wasn't willing to go see him, willing to make a second trip to the East Coast because it was too close to Natalie and her family. Of course, he did some fucked up shit because he was a full-on meth addict by the time I got there, and I didn't know that. Anyway, I guess, get off and check to see if you sent something through the emails, and possibly if you have actually through, I'll forward the message with Natalie Bollinger that I exposed your dad with on the 12th of December 2017. This was about 2 weeks, well, 10 days before I was supposed to have court. Um, she was able to get an officer and some guy to serve papers to me, but not legally. I mean, I really couldn't understand what was going on. I really, literally couldn't understand what was going on. And I needed to have a friend or family member there for my safety. But they all flaked, every goddamn one of them. So I tried to get help from Jeff Ritter, Colorado Coalition of the Homeless, Kara Heller, and a lot of other people. And I was like, hey, I need help taking these people to court. You literally haven't done anything except waste my time and money for over a year. And the same thing with Nicole Peralta in Nebraska. All I'm doing is spending fucking money. There's zero fucking help here. I literally spent over a year before Natalie was killed, spending all of my disability money trying to get help stopping the fucking abuse so I could see my friends without being harmed. However, there are no unbiased articles. They all paint me as a monster. All of them paint me as either a stalker, and that's a horrible word. That will literally make you a victim for the rest of your life. It takes away your ability to own a firearm, which means that people know you're not armed. It also is one of those things that if you say it about a man, it means he's a horrible person and it's okay to hurt him. And that's what I've dealt with. And people know that it's true. Look at Wolnez. Look how people blow it off and brush it off. The importance of turning in fucking predators, especially as an at-risk adult. If your friends and family don't even care to help you turn it in, then you must not matter. The police spent a lot of time trying to paint me out to be a horrible monster. But you also get to see in real life, I take a lot of lumps that are meant for other people. You still there, Mr. Shaw? Hopefully you can tell that there's a lot of information, a fucking shit ton, and that makes it impossible to explain the ins and outs of the situation in just one video, especially when I'm fucking half zonked out but can't sleep. The video that I made that's in the link description, it's about the situation in September. This is a couple of months before all this shit went down. It might have been October when I made that video. But the thing is, I could barely function. I hadn't slept in days. Kenneth Wilson and Leatha Plunkett had stolen all of my money and spent it on fucking pot. And then they smoked all the pot, didn't even share it. Awful nice of them. They wanted me to socialize with them. So what they did is they stole my pot. They told me that they were going to go get some pot, and I gave them $100 to get me some. And then they never brought me any back. And then they said, oh, well, we kept it in the house. You know, we figured that would be a way to get you to socialize. I'm like, that's stupid. And then you smoked it all. And it's pretty obvious I didn't want to socialize with them. They were abusing their own kid. Meanwhile, I couldn't turn that in either. I'd tried. Nobody's going to listen to an autistic retard. You still there, Scott? Someone calling themselves Cole C typed J. Anyway, I never pretended like I don't smoke pot. But as far as harsh drugs, nope, I don't even drink. Repeatedly, when I tried to turn in Natalie Bollinger in that situation, as well as turn in the officers that were involved in harming me over that situation, over committing vigilante acts over that situation, who obstructed justice, intentionally misled the situation, not only to my friends and family, but also to the American public and media. And what was it all for? Well, they weren't sure if they were going to find Natalie's killer. They needed a scapegoat. They needed somebody on the sidelines that they could try to peg for it if they weren't able to find the guy that did it. Then afterwards, they did the standard classic gaslighting thing. They call their fucking victim crazy, tell everybody the victim is crazy. And then, of course, if you got a professional position of power, it's easy. They get to see the more abuse I took, the less nice I was. I started off nicely, letting Natalie, Alicia, and Maddie know what was going on. Had to block them on Facebook to do so. When that didn't work, I tried going to the police. They didn't want to fucking listen. I tried going to the cops in Boulder, Colorado about the assaults there. I was told they can't do anything about rumors. Scott Shaw typed yes. Cole C typed message retracted, and then typed, "Hi, how has your day been, dogged Roman?" Well, it's been horrible, and I also don't trust anybody who can't stand behind their words, even if they're mistakes. If you make a mistake, admit to it, don't erase it. That means that you're not only irresponsible, you don't feel that you should be held responsible to the actions that you've committed to, which includes the words. Now, I noticed that all you had typed is J, and it was while I was talking about pot, and I understand how you might not want people to see that. But the thing is, I don't give a shit. What I care about is the protection of the evidence. Cole C typed, "Yeah, my day hasn't been that good. It started with me getting robbed of my last $5, my hoodie, and my weed that I smoked for chronic pain. Then my mom's abusive boyfriend got into a fight with me." Cole, how old are you? You're 16. All right. Scott Shaw, could you help out with this a little bit? This is a 16-year-old. I'm not sure what the law is in Cole's state or here, but I am aware that that could get him into a lot of trouble for typing on here. Not because he's done anything wrong. He's obviously reaching out after an abusive situation, and there's also the possibility it might be a troll trying to pretend to be a child for some fucked up reason. It's an entertainment thing for a lot of my trolls. Cole's profile might be brand new. I don't have a way to check it while I'm making these. If it's a brand new account, chances are pretty good that it's one of my trolls on here to harass me. Scott Shaw typed, "I'm 25, I'm well beyond that time period. But yes, the evidence can always track back on social media, and that's something that is important. I don't want this evidence being destroyed. I want Cole to be able to have a safe place to turn this in. I don't know anybody to call anymore. Everybody that was part of my social network for finding missing people and helping out victims, half of them are dead. The other half of them don't talk to me because half of them are dead. So, this is the situation where we've got someone who's underage, who is talking about her mom's abusive boyfriend getting into a fight with him. Now, as far as an underage person smoking weed, I don't give a shit. I mean, it's obviously not good for a developing brain, and anybody that smokes it will admit that, or their brain is fucking fried. I'm not against pot. If you smoke it, you smoke it. If you don't, you don't. I don't believe that for a developing brain, most of the medications they use are appropriate. I did help to get Amendment 64 passed in Colorado, so it's not like I haven't done my part to try to legalize it, but I'm not a heavy smoker. Like, I can't handle it. So, Cole, how can we help you tonight? And how can we get you to a safe place? I should ask, are you in a safe place? And no, I'm not going to treat you the way that a place like 988 or Suicide Hotline treats you. If you need to turn it in, we'll find a way to turn it in. Now, if you don't type back, I'm going to assume that either you're messing with me or that the crisis has been averted and you've got it handled. In either event, the fact that you came on here immediately, asked how my day had been, and then immediately started in about your issue, and that this is all stuff that happened tonight. This is this is something that it would be easy to help turn in. Cole C typed, "No, I'm not a troll. I just found you on the shorts feed, and I haven't changed my profile pic because I don't care about it. But I can see how you thought I was one from the stuff you're talking about." Well, thank you, Cole, for understanding that. Also, if you're 16, me interacting with you on this level could potentially get me into trouble. So it's not anything against you as a human being, but I prefer not to converse with youngins on my channel or in public or anywhere else for that matter, unless it's a friend who's got children and I'm friends with their children as a result, or I'm expected to be a part of the raising of those children. I generally try to run them off. I did the same thing in person on Pearl Street for, I want to say, between when Natalie and Alicia were 13 to when they were 18. I just ran them off every time I saw them. Same thing as I do on this channel. Now, that's not to say that you have to leave. It's just to say that this probably ain't the place for you. If it's a place that helps to give you solace, that's cool. But as far as young people interacting with a 43-year-old on this type of YouTube channel, this channel is full of a lot of adult content. All right, let's get back to Mr. Scott Shaw. If Cole ends up needing a situation where he feels the cops need to be called, the problem is having a safe place for him to go to. One of the issues that I'm going to bring up, a lot of youth issues right now. I know that some of the stuff I said may have been dismissive of him, and also if he is being harmed and he does need to turn it in, there needs to be a support network for him locally. We cannot provide that. Not unless he's in the same state as one of us. But the other thing is there's responsibility that goes along with that, and the fact that things can go south real quick. Like when a parent decides, well, because my child reached out to this person must be trying to groom my child, or creepy ass shit like that, which, yeah, parents groom their children, not the people their children go to for help. How true is it? It's not. Look at how many of our mandated reporters that we're supposed to go to. They're not going to do their jobs as mandated reporters. It's a scary goddamn situation. As a child, I had no rights, and anybody could harm me whenever they wanted over that mentally ill tag. I was told when I became an adult it would be different, but that tag follows you everywhere, including into adulthood. That's right, here in the United States of America, telling on a pedophile or a child beater could result in the rest of your life having a label that will have you victimized. Who has it worse, boys or girls? Well, that depends. What do you consider worse? Being raped or being beaten to death? What's worse? Being raped or being beaten over and over and over and over again? There are women that I know that are traumatized because somebody touched their butt when they were 13. I know men who grew up in the system being raped almost on a daily basis that are expected to walk through life like everything's fine. I can tell you from personal experience, you're not fine after that. You have to hide it. People expect you to stand tall and stand proud like a real man. That just results in a bunch of fucking bodies. People out here don't work together unless it's to get drugs or to get away from druggies. And then they usually split immediately after and end up right back in the same situation because the whole goddamn country's like this, not just Tillamook, not just Boulder, Colorado. This does need to be a place where people can turn this stuff in, but goddamn, it gets real scary when it's somebody who's under 18 because you do have to make a call, but you got to know the person at least well enough that you have some contact information and something to go on just other than a profile. Mr. Shaw, you still here? I'm sorry for going off on that tangent as long as I did. As far as helping me, I'm over the age of 18, so the unfortunate fact is it's easier to help me than it is to help a 16-year-old over the internet in a situation like this. If I didn't have the BS held over my head that I do, I could make a call right away. But one of the things is that I do have to worry about it being a troll. Somebody who might pretend that I'm trying to well, I'd have to show you the examples of people actually doing it before you'd understand the full paranoia behind it. It's not meant to harm anybody or to scare anybody. But it has to be a situation where people are able to be safe. And my channel is supposed to be for all victims, and I have to be afraid to help children. How fucked up is that? Someone calling themselves Homelander type. We are like this because we are meant to be strong. The weak end up like you. If you weren't so pathetic, you would be living good. Help yourself. You know what we do with these ass wipes? Always. We block these bitches. Weak? Hell, I'm standing up the son of a bitches that you wouldn't in a million years have the balls to stand up to. So what do we do with this feller Homelander? We get rid of his bitch ass. Mr. Shaw, even if you don't have a job, as long as you're not homeless at this moment, there are a lot of things that you can do to help. If you understand Asperger's, you can speak up about it. You can speak up about how you're treated and how others are treated. And you can speak out specifically about my case and about how much abuse I've taken and about how long it's been. I'm going to try to charge up my phone a little bit. And then in the morning, the first thing I'm going to try to do is to go through the emails and start sending you evidence between myself and Natalie, stuff that I'm able to. Scott Shaw typed, Cole C typed good. Scott Shaw typed, brother, my eyes are getting weak. Myself, I'm gonna get the shut eye, but continue to give your message and we'll tune into the next stream. We'll keep you in mind. Well, the next stream might be later on tonight, depending on my level of anxiety. However, I'm gonna log off now. Cole, if you're in an unsafe situation, You do have permission to type here before going to anyone. The only reason for that is if you want to type your story in the comment section somewhere on my YouTube so that it's on there, so that if you need to reference it, that you did type it out, that you did speak out to somebody, I am totally there. I'm, this is one of the shitty things. Someone calling themselves Daisy Ramirez typed hello. Hello, Daisy Ramirez. The other gentleman, Scott Shaw, who I actually titled this video about, he's typing in here too, which is pretty cool. Daisy Ramirez, type you okay? No, I'm not. I need help stopping abuse. That includes abuse by the police. And many of the officers that I've turned in have a history of doing these things. And many of the officers that I tried to turn in did those things to others afterwards and got busted. The problem is that they had the people who the cops harmed had family to help them turn it in. And I had people who would argue and play stupid. We really do need to have a support network, a civilian support network that children who are being abused can go to and will make the call with them immediately. And I know that a lot of the children's services don't actually do that. They do the same thing as they do out on the street. They treat the victim like the predator. Or they'll give the victim a choice between going home to stay with their predator or going to fucking juvie. They'll say those are the only two choices. Although that's not true, actually. They'll probably send you to an institution first and then start sending you around to foster homes, which, if you're only 16, that might be difficult. And it will be difficult until you turn 18. And of course, as a guy, you're going to be told, oh, well, why are you trying to destroy somebody's life? Why are you trying to mess up somebody's life? You're a horrible this, you're a horrible that. But if your mom's boyfriend is fighting with you, you're 16, he can't be doing that. Anyway, I'm going to try to go to sleep now and charge up my phone a bit. Y'all stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Remember, you are your brother's keeper and your sister's too, and no victim left behind.